Shit. We got some big news, man, coming out of China. Apparently, there's going to be a one more thing event at NIO Day this year, very soon. Boy, oh boy, there's so much to talk about. The sub-brand information was going to be announced on NIO Day. So, the sub-brand, so in light of the recent struggles, I guess, everybody else getting all-time high deliveries, and NIO's not really getting there, having to cut staff as well. NIO has sped up the development of the sub-brand. And wait for the shocker, all right? This is not the shocker. This is not the shocker. This is just the appetizer. So it's been sped up for delivery in early Q3 of 2024. Okay? So on NIO Day, there's going to be the launch of the NT 2.2 car, which is the refreshed version of the current NT 2.0 cars. So there's going to be the ET7 and ES7. Apparently, these are the two cars that will be refreshed on NIO Day. And then the One More Thing event, of course, we know they're going to launch the sub-brand. But the One More Thing event, apparently, and this is the big shocker, all right? You know how the sub-brand is called Alps? But that has always been the code name for the project, the sub-brand. It wasn't officially called Alps. So apparently the sub-brand's name is just going to be called NIO. What? Yeah. Oh my God. It's just going to be called NIO. And we'll talk about the implications of this later. But the designation for the cars, you know how with my car it's EC6, and then there's like ET something, ES something. This is gonna be ED something, ED, and then also they're going to also have the car available at the Beijing Auto Show, the first sub-brand SUV for display. So actual physical car that you can look at and get into. And what's really amazing about this is apparently it's going to share the same NIO app. And if you take delivery and activate your NIO ED car, sub-brand car, you get 6,000 NIO points instead of 12,000 with current NIOs. So it's pretty much going to be the same brand. All right. The implications of this is huge. This means they can use existing sales channels, and also a lot of people and also ex-NIO employees have said that they do not want a separate sub brand and that they should just have it as the NIO brand, because the NIO logo, the NIO brand is still very desirable, and having a cheaper variant, a cheaper car in that brand is going to get you a lot more success than having a different separate name. And it is confirmed that this car will be the first NT 3.0 car that NIO comes out with. Now there's a lot of other big add-on information to this, because there's also another leak, and let me add on some more additional information. So a while back, I talked to the NIO manager. Why was NIO looking to put out a sub-brand, potential sub-brand? Where apparently the NIO manager said that when you have a cheaper vehicle, you can't have customers expect the same level of service that they get from the NIO main brand. So to differentiate that, they would have to have a sub-brand. But with this, actually having it as just a NIO car, you pose the risk of potentially having excessive cost on service. But this is where another leak came, and at first I was like a bit skeptical about this. So apparently they're getting rid of the highest tier level of service insurance package, and you can only get the second tier insurance package, which has a less service stuff. This all makes sense, and that would allow NIO to launch these new cars under the main brand and not have to worry about giving excessive over-the-top service, because the service package is apparently going to be retired, the top tier service package retired to only existing NIOs that already have it. All right. So in the future, you buy a new NIO, you're not going to be able to get the worry-free service, apparently, according to this other leak. You're only going to be able to get the worry-free insurance, which is the tier 2 insurance package. It's all making sense now. And of course, launching it under the main brand also has other benefits, like you don't have to open new stores, you don't have to train separate sales reps, you don't have to open other service centers, you don't have to spend a ton of money on existing infrastructure. In other words, this is just going to be a much cheaper NIO for everybody. Mass market, 200K to 300K RMB, accessible by everyone. All right, it's not going to be too expensive and unreachable. Everyone's going to be able to afford it. Everyone's going to be able to buy that car. Everyone's going to be able to do battery swap. And that's also why they're deploying swap stations like crazy. And with NIO entering this segment, we can really expect sales to explode. All right. The biggest complaint, and even if you saw my other video yesterday, 2 videos ago, you can tell that if you look at the starting price, NIO has the highest and still has a very high ranking in terms of deliveries. If you're able to pull that starting price down, the floodgates will be open, guys. Because right now here in stores, some people cannot afford a NIO. They can only afford a BYD. And I can tell you guys, NIO doing this pretty much guarantees that this sub-brand car or the ED car, whatever, ED5 or is it ED3, is going to be very, very successful. The good news right now is that NIO's management seems to be laser focused on doing the right things to improve the balance sheet, improve cash flow, only have things that adds to its cash balance and cash flow. And they fully know that they need the sub-brand car desperately. All right, that ED car. This is amazing news, guys. This is amazing news. So by July of next year, we could be seeing NIO's ED, aka sub-brand Ups car, on the road being delivered. That's crazy to think about. I think this will be just extremely impactful to the market in general. Wow. You know, at first I was a little bit skeptical if they launched like a sub-brand under a different brand name. You got to build more stores. You got to have separate sales reps. It's going to be very inconvenient. But NIO's doing the right thing. They've smartened up. All right. I can't wait to see this car.